Hello and welcome to this live stream. To all those few thousand people who like watching it after it goes live, I see you, I appreciate you, thanks for commenting and things like that. And to those few less than 50 people who are here at the very start, thank you to you too. And Sanguinary Guard, one of my mods, right there with the first comment. We've even got someone from Ohio, the USA, crawling out of bed this morning to be here with us today. And someone, hedonism is, it's 2 a.m. in Australia, and I'm cleaning mold lines. Officer Karen, please kill me. No, because then, no, this is what it takes to be in this hobby. Blood, sweat, sacrifice. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but it's my ring finger. Where's the camera? Is there? You can't see the scar, can you? You can probably see the scar. See that scar? That's a 40k scar. I'm sure many of you have 40k scars. That was 7 stitches before I got married. And that was cleaning off some... Before, look. You guys know how to use clippers, right? You guys, you know that you need to do clippers. Well, there was a time when I didn't know about clippers. And for 10 years, I was hacking shit out with a machete, my chainsaw, like me. And one day on a Land Raider sprue, some idiot thought it, because pushing it up, because it was one of those thick sprues, the bits that joins it right on the edge and it can't get, God damn it. It was one of them that they would pulling down. No, that bounced off the bone, that did. That was painful. Any more 40k scars in the chat? I'd love to hear it. First, I have to ask, is the sound coming through? So 40k scars, is the sound coming through? Exile 650 doesn't usually catch these live from California. It must be like 6 in the morning there. We have 2 a.m. in Australia in here as well. We've also got Feshmon, who's also from Upside Down Land at 2 a.m. The Upside Down. I hope you guys are up to date with Stranger Things, because Stranger Things was epic. Combat Block 44 had some clippers go into my finger and the sound is good. Yeah, sound is fine. Cut towards your body, not your... No, you don't cut towards your body or your buddy. You use clippers, people. You use clippers. So sound is good. We're all here. Thank you to the less than 50 people that are here. 7 likes though. I think what I'm supposed to do at this point is tell you to smash that like button. And thank you to the few thousand who watch this after the thing. I wrote a list this time, so I know what I'm talking about. I've got a couple of things to get through. How are we anyway? Stranger Things is right way up here. Is it really? That sounds painful. More lore, please, Pendlebury. I'm infatuated with the idea that the Emperors didn't want the Primarchs out of the tube. Yeah, it's a nice idea, isn't it? Aaron, he's been a member for 10 months, a tier 3 channel member for 10 months, smashing it. I sliced half of one of my nails off while kit bashing. Yeah, I mean, nails, man. Yeah, lost plenty of those nails. Hello from WA State. I assume that's in America land. And Mr. Vertica has also been a tier 3 channel member for a month. He's got a 40k scar on his thumb from excessively fast retracting tape measure. A 40k scar from a tape measure. Bled like a mofo. I like that. That's nice. You'll have to show it to me next time I see you at an event and things. Robert White, hi all. Combat Block 44 asks, how often do I stream nowadays? Well, as you know, I made a commitment when I first started doing live streams to try and live stream to you every single Monday. So consistency is very important when you live stream on the internet, because then other people, you'll have less than 100 viewers when you live stream, and Combat Block will say, how often do you live stream nowadays? I think consistency is very important for live streaming, don't you? I don't know. Does anyone else? Can anyone else answer that question? Because I'm not really sure. Grim Dark Ash used to work for GW, and there was plenty of the red whippy stick injuries. Oh, I love those red whippy sticks. Pushing a scalpel and lost a bit of my knuckle skin. Mr. Lynch in real life. Pushed it back on, clotted and healed. Didn't think to line up my wrinkle lines. Now I have a circle of knuckle skin going in the wrong direction. Beautiful. Blood for the blood god. Skulls for the skull throne. This is a public service announcement. Please be careful when assembling minis. Zachary Silverton, just woke up. You wouldn't know state of abbreviations. My bad. Frankly, I've lost track of the number of times I put a scalpel into my finger. Yeah. Those little pricks, right? Those little pricks. You feel them all the same. So I have a list of things to get through on this particular show. How often do I stream? Anyone answered that yet? Dan Gitman, one time he was using a Stanley knife to try and cut out a flyer based from plasticard, a flyer sized base from plasticard. Okay, a flyer sized base on plasticard, and like an idiot, the knife slipped and drew a rose and I drew it a rose across probably my entire left hand. Knife slipped. Let's say there is no rose in that sentence. There were rose by any other name would still smell as sweet. Let's say it says across my hand. How often do I stream? Someone answer the question before nowadays, before I can move on. I've got things to get through. I can't keep on top of this all by myself. Someone else answer Combat Block 44's question, please. Come on now. Come on. Teamwork makes the dream work. Come on. Hedonism. To be honest, any cuts I've gotten hobbying pale into comparison to catching a yellow hot bit of steel when I was blacksmithing. Well, that is cool, though. Getting a yellow hot blacksmithing, stealing things, that's cool. Robert White sliced the tip off his finger using a switch razor on a transfer sheet. Stupid and funny. Yes, it is. Sanguini Garn answers the question, Combat Block. How often do I stream consistently? That's why he's a mod. I stream consistently. That's the answer to your question. And De Gitman, he streams every day, is just a lie. De Gitman, come on now. If we're going to help each other here answer some of these questions, then you can at least jump on board the truth train, okay? Truth shall set you free, my brother. You're an orc, though, De Gitman. You probably don't know the difference. You don't know what is real, do you? Really? I mean, apart from the odd bit of fungus beer, smashing some squigs every now and then, and trying not to let the bigger orcs beat you up. Right. Yeah, De Gitman, I'm an orc. Truth don't exist. Oh my God, it's Monday already. Yes, and Jones. Yes, it is. Welcome to the Monday for Warhammer 40k live stream. I've got a list. Am I starting the list yet? Are we still going? Fear not. I am the master of little pricks, said Socrates Silverton. Yes, but it doesn't matter if all we have is 3 inches, because you only need 3 inches for a good pile in, right? So if you're talking like a little prick like that, then you can pile in quite well. De Gitman thinks he's the bigger orc, he says. I mean, honestly, De Gitman, come on now. There's always a bigger orc. I think Nicholas Tremblay might be in France land. And what's on the list? Hedonism. Yes, thanks for asking. Aussie has not watched a 40k game in months, including it on DZ. Much prefer watching Heresy. So you see, that's what's on the list. We get to Heresy, because the title of the video, Heresy versus 40k, which is better? I think I've figured it out. And I think if you started from a clean slate, I think I figured a way to you can figure it out too. I can illuminate you. I think I figured it out. Quebec in English. Oh, see, so you're a pretend French, Nicholas. You're in Quebec. I went there. Is Quebec where mini wargaming is? Welland, you know. I know the Empress. I mean, pretend French, like the Americans are pretend English or Greek or Italian or wherever they're from. Hi, I'm from yeah, we're Italian, and you know, it's their grandparents' work. Come on now. I knew the Emperor's Champ has a 6-inch pile-in for a reason. Yes, he does. De Gitman, are we still having this conversation? You're the only orc in your shack, so is the bigger orc. See, De Gitman, you might be the bigger orc down your manor, alright? But there's a demon out there. There's a demon who is bigger, who is cunninger and brutaler than you is. And he's howling, and he's mad, and he's Murphy. So there's always a bigger orc. Where are we? Lol, we're not pretend Americans, and that what counts. Brandon Mears. You're not pretend Americans. Okay, fair point. Aren't we all really people of this earth? Aren't we all just one people, one race, one species that needs to unite under the banner of the Emperor of mankind and reconquest this galaxy and clear it of the heretic and the Xenos and the witch and unify under a pan-galactic safety system where we travel through the Emperor's webway safely here, there and everywhere, where the astropathic choirs have been exterminated, and step forward into a bright new future where we all look after each other and all increase our art, our knowledge, our health, our wealth, and dream big dreams. I think that's all we are. Right, where are we? Nah, Emperor bad. Archon, come on now. Oh dear. And it kills them over years for the... I don't know what you're talking about there. Nicholas Temp. On the Imperium side, but we need to stop seeing the Emperor as a god. Well, he technically, at the time, he wasn't, was he? He was just a very powerful perpetual. And the Primarchs and the Space Marines, not word bearers, didn't see him as a god either. He wasn't a god. They didn't see him as a god. But after 10,000 years of people believing that you're a god and stewing in the warp for all that time, and we're talking trillions upon trillions upon trillions of souls utterly believing you're a god, more so than the number of souls out there that believe in, almost as many souls out there that believe in war or change or disease and death believe in him. I think that makes him a god. Afternoon, hope we're well. Selvin Gilbert, thank you. Good motivation. Winters, Dag Gitman, thank you. Smash that like button, people, for the Imperium. No, Sky says, not so much for the Emperor. That's exactly the way the 13th feel. Because the Imperium now isn't his dream, wasn't the goal. The Imperium now was the fallback position. Stopped anyone winning. Rue, hi Rue, thanks for your donation. First one of the day. Good afternoon. Hope we're all keeping warm. I think we are. Veshmon asked the real question: do the Orcs think he's a god? No, the Orcs think Gork or possibly Mork is a god, and they are two immortal gods that the Chaos Gods have never been able to kill since their formation about 60 million years ago. Time meaning nothing to the warp. So what's on the list? So Rue, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate you. If you'd like to support me, then consider becoming a Tier 3 channel member. Another way to support me, we can cut to this one first, is do you really love your wife or your child, and you're thinking of getting your mum or your child or someone really close to you that you really love something special for Christmas? Then what more could you give them? What more thought can you put into a gift that says, I love you, mum, girlfriend, pet, squig, sister, daughter, I love you. And here is a Winter's SEO t-shirt. Thank you to the 3 people who bought that in between last live stream and this one. Ozzy, you think a god could heal his mortal form and get off his potty, or at least a full... Hey, listen, Ozzy, this is Heresy. Your first warning, son. Your first warning. Nicholas Temby, the pretend French guy. I would be interested to know what happened when Rubuti entered the Golden Throne. We had a chat. And his father wasn't able to keep up his glamour anymore, so he could see through the lies to the very truth, to the very core of things. And I think the thing that uplifted Guilliman more was when he had his 48 days in solace after being reborn and retaking Macragge, even before he crossed to see his father on the Golden Throne before the Cicatrix Maledictum happened in the Siege of Cadia books. Was those 24 hours when he absorbed everything and all the knowledge and saw what the Imperium had become, but still saw the Space Marines, the Ultramarines fighting on their walls heroically for their lives for 10,000 years and not knowing what they had lost and still fighting. And that gave Guilliman all the Guilliman believes in humanity. He believes in the original dream, regardless of the consequences and the methods that the Emperor used. There is still an underlying dream, which is to free humanity from slavery in a galaxy where demons will eat you, slavery of the warp, and free humanity from ever experiencing an extinction level event again, like they did during the Age of Darkness. So killing off all the Psychers, which included any Xenos race which could potentially be a threat to humanity, to secure the survival of the species. Guilliman believes in that, and the Emperor believes in that. So Guilliman might thoroughly disagree with some of the Emperor's methods and thoroughly be repulsed by the Imperium he finds him in today. But he's a Primarch of Albert Einstein's level of genius. He's a million Einsteins. He's a genius. So he's more than repulsed by what he sees in the Imperium today, but he would also figured out that this is the Emperor's fallback plan. This was the checkmate that Graham McNeil wrote about in the Outcast Dead in the Horus Heresy series. And the Emperor said those immortal lines: sometimes the only way to stop your enemy from winning is not to lose. Checkmate. And that's what he's done. And the enemy is not just chaos, the enemy is Xenos, and he's wrapped the galaxy in a wall of steel that kept it safe for 10,000 years. And it was hell. And it's no place that any one of us would ever want to go to, but the goal was good. The methods. Where are we? Hello, Bow. I'm from the deployment zone. Well worth the money for the extra content. Winters and Liam make great relatable content. Thank you, Grim Darkash. I mentioned about the t-shirt. While we're pimping some stuff, then yes, if you'd like to support me and Liam, and if you'd like to join the Deployment Zone community, then subscribe to www.deploymentzone.tv. That'll give you access to all my extra videos and the Deployment Zone Discord, and jointly support me and Liam. And then, if you want to get all of Liam's content and support Liam even more, then you become a channel member and you can join Liam's stuff, Liam Dempsey on YouTube. Or if you just want to support me, then you can get all my extra videos. Everyone in the Deployment Zone gets all my extra videos. Everyone in my Tier 3 channel members gets all my extra videos as well. So if you just want to support me, then you can support me and get all my extra videos. By becoming a Tier 3 channel member, and that unlocks my own private Discord. So that's how it works. There's the joint DZ, and then there's the two separate ones, which is not something that I saw coming. It certainly wasn't the state of things last year, because it was all about Deployment Zone. But Liam was determined to brand himself as an individual and a serious independent YouTuber. So this year he's been pushing that as much as he can, and good luck to him. And yeah, but in order to do that, in order to show that he could do that and is doing that and is successful at that, and he has shown that, in order to help monetize that, he monetized his channel members. So we're now in a place where there's 3 different ways to support either of us. Well, one way to support both of us and one way to support each of us individually. It's not the choice I would have made. Liam knows this, but I would have liked to have only focused on Deployment Zone. But it's the position I find myself in. It's December, it's the end of the year, and these things have been on my brain for some time. And I haven't really discussed this with you guys. This is behind the camera stuff. But it feels good to just talk about it finally and get it out there. I'm in a very happy place though. I make 40k content for a living, and I have you wonderful 91 concurrent viewers in the chat, having a chat, listening to me on a Saturday afternoon, which isn't a Monday, and I'm not being consistent. And the few thousand of you, thank you so much, who join after the live stream. I appreciate you all. So I have a list. What's on the list? And checking it twice. I'm gonna, and yeah, okay. So what's on the list? The first one was thank you. We did the thank yous. The second one is BRAP. The third one is the Xmas t-shirt. Thank you to the 3 people who got it. The fourth one is hobby catch up. Oh yes, so for those of you, because it is a Saturday and the Australians and the Americans out there, I do try and do a hobby catch up on these. And then at the end, we'll get to Heresy versus 40k, which is better, live stream thing, and I can answer your questions then. Now, I need hands in the air for this. Remember, this is a team project, people. We're making the magic happen here for the thousands of people who are going to watch this afterwards. Hands up in the air for the people who want to timestamp the hobby catch up. So like hobby catch up started at 23 minutes or something like that, and then the 30k versus 40k discussion starts at this number of minutes. And then if you could write that comment in the comment section in YouTube, then when this goes, the vlog goes live as a vlog. It goes live as the thing, the non-live thing. Then you write that in that comment section, then I'll pin it to the top. Okay. Hands in the air. Thank you, Dak Gitman. Well done. You're a well-organized orc. So yeah, you understand your job, Dak Gitman. I need a yes in the comment section. Nitra plays. You're my second on this. Okay. So if Dak Gitman or you both of you, you can only pin one comment in the YouTube comment section, but please, one of you pin one in there. So when the hobby update starts, because people like to see that. And the 30k bit at the end. So are we? Yes, to Gitman. Good. He knows it. Good. So we all locked in, people. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday day. You haven't asked the question, or maybe someone has asked the question in the chat, but yes, I have seen the new Space Marine 2 trailer, and yes, it looks awesome. Yes, it does look awesome. I'm very much looking forward to playing Space Marine 2. I've been playing a little bit of Warzone with the boys, with Brap and Sultan and Monkey. They played a lot more than me. I wasn't available through the first week or so, and they play mainly on Friday nights, and on Friday nights is one of the few nights that my friend Alex Esio can come around and play. Last night we played 3,000 plus games. It was like 3,100 point games of Horus Heresy. We didn't film because it's not all painted yet, and it was epic. And then I had this conversation with him afterwards, which has led to this topic, which is why we're doing Heresy plus for Heresy versus 40k later. And yeah, so that's why we're actually sat here. What did I start talking about? Someone said yes, time no. Yeah, so I've watched the Space Marine 2 trailer, been playing quite a bit of Warzone. They played a lot more than me, but the 2 times I played with them, we've had 2 dubs because, you know, there's a tactical genius is something that's sometimes said about me by some people on the... I won this trophy once. Have you guys checked out Darktide? I haven't had the time because I only really have time for one video game, and at the moment it's been Warzone. I'm looking forward to Space Marine 2. Though one of the things I want to do with Darktide is, wouldn't it be great if if anyone here knows Chapter Master Varric, or message him because I'm too lazy, even though I've got his phone number. Someone message him or put in his next time we get that, like, Winters wants to play Darktide with you. Because imagine if, like, me, Chapter Master Varric, I don't know, Mikey Hellstorm, but like 4 YouTubers played Darktide all the way through, and Varric could stream it because, you know, most popular, so most eyes on it, and watch 40k people like role play it through. I think that's a genius idea. I don't need to talk to him about it, but again, this is a group effort. Some of you have joined in here to help me out. We already had some volunteers, so I need someone who is here or someone who's listening to this afterwards to throw that idea at Valrak, even though I could call him now. But yeah, or point him in the direction of this and timestamp this. That's probably a good idea. See what he says. I mean, I could, you know, yes. Apocalypse Batter report, what was it? Would be a great stream, High Lord of Terror. I think so. Hedonism says he'll Nexus message Scram Rack now, and High Lord of Terror says text him. No, look, I'm busy. Sanguinary Regard asks, will we get to see you at the Factorum in the foreseeable future winters? I haven't got a plan to do anything at the Factorum, and 2 chats just came in, or donations. Eric Lutzman, When will we see your World Eaters 30k army? Super excited for your loyalist traitor. So World Eaters are going to be at least 6 months away, because I've got the first spread of the Sons of Horus. The Death Guard are currently away at Den of Imagination. I'm painting the Emperor's Children, and I haven't started assembling the World Eaters yet, but it's going to be an awesome list. Ask me later about the list, but it's going to be a good 6 months, because there's only so many projects that I can personally work on and they can personally work on at any one time. Caldor Pug Rago, 100 quid donation, OMG. Thank you. Can we have a big round of applause, big heart spam in the chat, concurrent viewers, 100 of you, for Herrick Lunsman and for Caldor Pug Rago. Show me love. Caldor Pug Rago, Supreme Grand Pug, Master of the Grey Knights, the Emperor's bestest boy, Slayer of Bloodthirsters, Troll of Liam Dempsey's chat, by order of the Holy Inquisition, implore you to follow Winters and say hi, Paul, for great Warhammer content. Sir, I salute you. Freshman says, wow, goodest boy. Brandon Mears says, sounds like a good idea, RP it out. Yes, I think 4 of us playing Darktide, 40k players, RPing Darktide all the way through would be epic. And lots of rounds of applause and hearts in the chat for both of your donations. I very much appreciate you. And for those that joined late, do you love your pug? Is your pug really the bestest boy, or do you bow to the master race and have a cat? Do you have a pug or a cat? Either way, the best gift you can give your pug or cat this Christmas is some Winters SEO merch. Watch them waddle around your kitchen floor dressed in a Winters SEO branded t-shirt. Sam Nash is in the house. He's gifted 5 memberships. Big round of applause to Sam Nash. Heart shapes in the chat to him as well. Sam, you were supposed to be here today. This is one of the other reasons why this window's opened up and why we're doing this on a Saturday, is because me and Sam were supposed to be here today filming a Horus Heresy 30k game. And I know he can knock out about 4,000 points worth of Night Lords, and I know this because I've got 2 of his Leviathan Dreadnoughts painted by marchofwar.co.uk, which do commissions, and James from marchofwar.co.uk was here a couple of days ago, and I filmed a battle report with him, and he dropped off 2 of your Leviathan Dreadnoughts, which you were supposed to pick up today, Sam, so we could play 4,000 points worth of Night Lords versus probably Sons of Horus with an AdMech ally detachment, which is one of the things I tried out last night, which was awesome. So heart shapes, hands in the chat for everyone. Sam's back at it again. Sam Nash, he's so ill, but he just wants to play Heresy. Yes, and that's why Sam isn't here today, and that's why I'm here talking to you instead, because Sam is ill. He hasn't got the Rona. He will survive, and he's a young lad. He's like 12. He'll bounce back in no time. They've got to get ill when they're younger, right? They've got to eat dirt and roll around in it. It gives them dirt and dirt. So he'll get better, and I've blocked him in for the 20th instead, Sam. So Sam, if you're listening, Robert White, I've never played Horus Heresy, but I've heard some good things. Well, stick around for the end of the stream when we actually stay on topic and get to 30k stuff. Yeah, Sam, 4,000 points in Night Lords is a go. I didn't want to do all bad mech against you or Mechanicum against you because they're all stubborn and fearless, and it kind of negates the Night Lords, what they do. We want to see it. So I've got 2,300 points of painted Sons of Horus, so I was figuring about throwing them down, and you can easily add an allied detachment of Mechanicum with it and go 4,000 points and stick it in a ruin and make it dark and make it brutal right at the start. And I know it's Night Lords versus Sons of Horus, but Night Lords hate everybody, right? And everybody hates them. Oh dear. There is only 1 sworn allies in the Horus Heresy rule set, so you can ally with people all the way down, and some you can't really ally with. They're a game. If you can ally with someone who's a sworn brother, there's no negatives. And there's only one people the Night Lords can ally with in the whole of the Horus Heresy, and there's 20 factions, and that's the Death Guard, because the Death Guard absolutely want to murder Death Kill as well. Grandfather's gifts, High Lord of Terror. Yes, he's been gifted Grandfather's gifts. The Gitman Witness, do you think we get some of the Horus Heresy rule system will get put into the 40k game? Do I think some of it will? I don't think any of it will. But I hope that they change the morale system, because getting pinned or blinded or falling back or sweeping advanced really means something in 30k, in a way that the morale system, just losing more bodies in a way that can really affect the game. But put a pin in that, because that's one of the things I want to talk about at the end. So I don't think they'll put it in 40k, because 40k isn't about... Here's a prequel for what I wanted to talk about later. Sorry, I just really burped there. Don't burp to your audience. 40k over the last 10 years has tried to flatten the curve more and more and more. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Where are we? Troy, doing a character champion, Father Iron Tech. I couldn't go past that armor. A Leviathan Emp champion, not quite dead yet. Otherwise, right, sure. Devilord, I want some Light Lords for my Heresy armor. Of course you do. Everyone wants Light Lords. They are epic. Castellan says Heresy is the best. He's not wrong. And Aussie, thanks. Well, Aussie, I see you in the chat often in my videos. Thanks for being here. Tweaked and much improved 7th. Yeah, it's 7th on the scaffolding, but there's quite a bit of 9th in it as well, from a rules design point of view, like 2 Wound Terminators and the Dreadnoughts and things like that. But also reactions are kind of like stratagems. I see stratagems and reactions form the same mechanic. They are things. So you have a core rule for a game system. I talked about this on a live stream before. There are 3 sets of a game system. There's the core rules, and then there's what the pieces do, and that could be Scrabble, and that can be 40k. And then there are the third set of rules in the middle, where your pieces can affect the core rules. Now, in Scrabble and in Risk, your pieces never affect the core rules. But in 40k and 30k and war game systems, they have rules which can affect the core rules, like rerolls and rending and fearless, and so it works that way. And the 90k, you say tweaked and much improved of 9th edition. The Heresy rule set has the reaction system is the same as the stratagem system. It's things that your models can do, which will affect the core rules. Dagitman, I'm a devout follower of the World Eaters. Of course you are. You're an Orc player as well. Blood for the Blood God, Skulls for the Skull Throne. You're going to be really excited when the World Eaters Codex drops soon then. Probably in a month, if my guess is to... If my best guess, month, 30k. No, World Eaters. I think they'll drop it just after Christmas. Best guess. It'll be like a New Year thing. It's the 10th of deck now, so they can't drop it before Christmas now. Aussie, to be fair to 40k, it should be better balanced, being mostly Marine or Marine funsies. 30k should be better balanced. Yeah, the internal balance 30k is better. Is there a place for Mark 1 block jet bikes in 30k? If they ain't in the codex, there ain't a place for them. 40k is your conversion playground. 30k, they were legions. They were well supplied legions, nearly always using STC tech, stamp press, machine parts, Thunderhawks. Only the Storm Eagles, for example, towards the end of the Horus Heresy, it referred not the Stormbird, sorry, and not the Soka pattern Stormbird from Forge World. That is not a proper Storm Eagle. That is a stamp-pressed STC craft, like Land Raiders and Rhinos and things like that. All the las guns and bolt guns. They had a infinite supply of this stuff in Horus Heresy time. That's why you have troop companies all running around with melters. Or that's why you have Land Raiders and squadrons. They were really, really well supplied. That's all that some forges of the Mechanicum did. There was no need to go left or right. There's no place for conversions in the lore, really. There are minor conversions you can make to characters or the bikes or the things or your Mastercraft stuff or change stuff. And there is wiggle room in certain Terminator plates and unknown additions and designs made to Terminators and Dreadnoughts throughout the Heresy, particularly by the Iron Warriors and Iron Hands and Salamanders. But it is all pretty uniform until it gets towards the end and the unlocking towards the beginning really, the unlocking of the Vaults of Moravak on Mars, where the demon knowledge, the knowledge of bonding demonic energies with Martian constructs was a thing and a known thing by the Mechanicum, and they fought a war against this guy and locked him behind the Vaults of Moravak on Mars. One of the reasons why Cowboy Howe joined Horus's side was because Horus gave him 3 STCs and told him he could unlock the Vaults of Moravak, which the Emperor had shut and said, you shall not open this. This was part of the Treaty of Mars. You shall never open this. And Cowboy Howe was a bit affronted by that because he was the Lord of Mars and has been told by this Lord of another planet that he can't go in this thing. He knew it was bad. But yeah, not much room lore-wise for conversion opportunities. So those things that are in the codex at the moment, or the codices at the moment, are what you can take. Conversion in and around those models. And this isn't a bad thing, because by making it tighter for one rule set for people who want that tightness of lore, you've got the complete free-for-all, the sandpit that is 40k at the other side. Everything that's viable in 30k, you can build in 40k and convert your heart's content out of. And it's in the 40k verse, because First War Marines have not been wiped out yet. Iron within, iron without, says Brandon Myers. For me, glory to him on earth, lol. The Gitmans are a little upset with no World Eaters Terminators, don't they? The World Eaters Terminators in the Heresy book, they have Terminators. They get the Red Butchers. Oh, you mean in 40k? I thought you meant 30k. Where are we? Okay. Think we will see new Mechanicum models? Yes. One can hope, I guess. No, we will. Myrmidon, not Myrmidon Destructors, the other ones. The heavy ones in the AdMech book, they aren't available in plastic. There's the jump version of Castellan robots in the fast attack slot. They're not available in plastic. There is the judge character, the HQ character that basically goes around and passes the law. And he's judge, jury, and executioner on Tech Heresy. He doesn't exist. I'm definitely thinking that there's going to be 30k plastic out there. If they release the Myrmidon kit in plastic, they're going to sell a lot of Myrmidons, particularly as the heavy slot Myrmidons, you have to troop bash, kit bash. There's quite a few things in 40k, 30k actually, that you need a kit bash, particularly in the AdMech book. Where are we? I'm considering paying 25 Bullock jet bikes from 88 and just wondering where I can crowbar some gameplay. Sullivan Gilbert. Well, 40k. Sullivan Gilbert. Hobby Apocalypse. Yes, of course. Join the Hobby Apocalypse. If you're in the deployment zone, or if you want to join the deployment zone, then Hobby Apocalypse 3 starts in January the 1st, and the video went up the other day. Brandon Myers, Dark Mechanicum. Yes, they definitely need to do Dark Mechanicum. Sounds like you're talking Judge Dredd. Yes, there is an AdMech, Dagitman. There is an AdMech HQ who's basically Judge Dredd. And they're like strength 5, toughness 5, 3 wounds, 4. They're kitted. And if you are, they're supposed to be powerful enough that if you are a Magus Dominus in charge of your own forge, this thing can get to you and kill you and exterminate you for Tech Heresy. Headful, oh wow, you live. Big thank you for your videos during COVID. I think this is probably the first time you've caught me on a live stream. Your normal person video style with the battle reports really helped during that time. Keep on doing your thing. We appreciate it. Thanks, Headful. Glad that you're here joining this live stream. See, this feels weird now. You've made it about me and you, Headful. Because there's a whole bit beforehand. There's the bit with the chat. And now you've dropped in and given me a compliment, and I'm no good with compliments. I need someone to insult me quickly. I mentioned t-shirts, Headful. If you want a Headful, listen. Thanks for your appreciation. I really appreciate you too. And you know what someone in your family would really appreciate? Someone in your family this Christmas would really appreciate some Winters SEO merchandise. That way they'll know it's coming from you and coming with love. And thank you to the 3 people between this live stream video and the last live stream video who bought some merch. Your bat reps were good fun to watch during lockdown. Thank you to Gitman. Caldor Pugrego Winters, you seem to be missing the Gibraltar trophy from the background of the stream. How else will the community know you want it? I know, I don't talk. I repaired those things. 1 minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Winters SEO live stream where you are live with the 2021 SN Battle Reports No Retreat Legend of Legends champion winner. Supreme Grandmaster Caldor Drago just dropped another tenner in the... Oh no, that's a different guy, because I had a Supreme Grandmaster, unless you've changed your name in this time. Has someone seen a pug around here? The bugger ran off with my sword. For some reason, I think that's probably the same Supreme Grandmaster Caldor Drago. So, yeah, wasn't it great when the demon sword of Titan that Caldor Drago had just ignored demon saves? That's what it did. And now we've got these new demon saves, and his sword is just like a really powerful sword now. Instead of a sword that kills demons, he spends his time fighting demons in the warp where there's lots of demons. Sky, never noticed the trophy before. Yeah, I won this thing. I had to beat someone who was like in the England ITC team. Did Gitman get muted for calling Winters a grot after Winters asked for an insult? Did someone call me a grot? Thank you. Rosie Andrews, I think Winters SEO should team up with Cillian Murphy for a special episode of Peaky Blinders set in the 40k verse. Wouldn't that be epic? Man, Cillian Murphy's a G. You've seen 28 Days Later, right? One of his earlier movies. Oh. Hands up everyone who's seen 28 Days Later. And if you haven't seen 28 Days Later, that's the homework project for tonight, okay? But thank you, Supreme Grandmaster. There. So thank you for your donation. Andy Horyak just joined the stream. Hi, Andy. Haven't played any 30k yet, but just building up a word bearers force. Yes. See, word bearers, I've talked to a couple of word bearers players, like DC from SM Bat Reports. He loves being the bad guy. He loves playing those word bearers, and I kind of get it. He's the army that everyone hates. Is that why, Andy Hornack, you have to tell me, is that what attracted you to word bearers? Is it because they're just the bad guys? And it's like, yeah, we know everyone hates us. And we're good at being bad. Sullivan Gilbert and Russ Desert have watched 28 Days Later. So 2 people, Freshman, 3 people. Brandon Myers, 28 Days Later, the zombie movie where they started running and they haven't stopped since. Exactly. Headful, great movie. The shots of empty London are harrowing. Yeah, from like 4 or 5 in the morning in London in summer or something. Great stuff. The Gitman, you called, yeah, the boss, and the boss asked to be insulted. Well, I missed it, so thanks for chucking in there. Faster on the draw next time, to Gitman. Ryan Guy, gotta say, the awesome Lord you built around the 13th inspired me to make my own chapter and go crazy with that Lord. Thanks for all you do. 28 Days Later was awesome. Stop a second. Ryan Guy, the awesome law you built around the 13th read inspired me to make my own chapter and go crazy with that law. Stop the press. I need to tell everyone out there who's a fan of the 13th that not this Sunday, but next Sunday, the video that normally goes behind for members or for DZ will be on YouTube. It's the last one before Christmas. It'll be a 13th live stream. No, 13th. I messed that up. Let's stop. Let's rewind. Hugo Merchant, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Hugo, you're a legend. Thank you for joining the stream. I'm glad that you've jumped in because I'm about to drop a bombshell. So we're going to rewind this. Brap, if you're watching this, I've got a note for you on here, Brap. Brap edits these up. You know the live stream clips that you guys sometimes see on YouTube? I send this to Brap. Say, Brap, find some funny things or things that made you go, huh? He's not even here watching this. Look, he's not even here watching this. I've got a note to Brap. I want to talk about the 13th beforehand. Got to let this live stream thing dive down. But yeah, I just sent this to Brap and say, Brap, make me some live stuff out of this and stick it on the YouTubes. Maybe it helps the algorithm. Maybe it doesn't. But I guess some people like to see that content. So long as people like to see that content and find some of it funny or some of it, and I can keep doing it because I don't need to do much. Thanks, Hugo. Brap's legit funny dude. He is thank you to, if you get a gifted membership from Hugo, say thank you. Brap Scallion. Yes, that guy. Nice guy. Right. The 13th. Brap, if you're listening. Now I've got to stop because Caldor Pugrago gifted 5 memberships as well. Thank you, Caldor Pugrago. Are you changing your name? Is it the same fella again and again and again? Which is why I'm getting... Can you keep it a Caldor Pugrago, by the way? Because I quite like that one. And buy your pug a Winter's SEO t-shirt if you really love it. And if you've got 7 of them, that's 7 t-shirts. They'll know that you love them. And it'll make an awesome Christmas gift. So everyone, thank Hugo and Caldor for all the things. And Headful got, yes... Shorts work well, Rust Desert. So thank you. Yeah, I like throwing the odd one out there. And like I say, give it to Brap. Supreme Grandmaster. The plot thickens, ladies and gentlemen. Supreme Grandmaster Caldor Drago is different to Caldor Pugrago. We've got a Caldor fight off in the stream. Who is the better Caldor Drago? Or is this the warp really messing with our minds? Is there really one Caldor Drago and they're both the same Drago, but one is materialized, is 50 years in the future or 500 years in the future in his quest through the demonic realms, killing all the demons in the warp, sniffing all of that warp dust. And one is this far in the future, the other one's this far in the future, and they're both materialized in our time stream at the same time and are trying to out Caldor each other here. But really, if they were to team up, they could destroy the world between the two of them, because, you know, Space Marine Grandmasters in Terminator armor, I don't think there's many things on this planet short of a nuclear weapon that could stop them, particularly if there was 2 of them. Headful, damn it, you, I'm Alferis, says Sullivan Gilbert. It's the one guy on 3 accounts, he's messing with us. So the plot thickens. Hedonism says it's one guy on 3 accounts messing with this. Maybe this is a thing on Liam's live stream, because there was a mention to Liam earlier on. Goes to show you how many of Liam's live streams I actually watch. Freshman, one can't breathe properly, so the other just needs to keep moving around the ring. I assume boxing match. What are we talking about? The Gitman is the warp manifesting whispers and strange forces in our heads. Patrick Davis feels very zinchy. Yes. Okay, so if we could keep this warp infestation in check, people. I wanted to talk about the 13th. Brap, are you listening? Have you watched Dune? It's the closest we'll ever get to a 40k movie. No, Event Horizon is the closest we'll ever get to a 40k movie, but really you should watch Astartes on YouTube or on that Warhammer Minus thing. I have watched Dune, it was very good. Yeah, it's the best. The thing I liked about Dune is the fight was the background. Do you remember that time when Game of Thrones didn't even need to show us any of the big battles? 1, because they didn't have the budget, and 2, it wasn't about the big battles, it was about the characters, and then they forgot that in season 6, 7, 8, and they showed us all the big things across all the big battles and completely forgot to write the characters well. Any story needs to be... The best stories, in my opinion, focus on characters like Caldor Drago, like Frodo, like Luke Skywalker, and like the characters. It's we're people. We follow that personal journey. You can do big battles, and big battles are epic, but they're even epicer through the eyes of an individual, I think. Imagine, yeah. So yeah, there's some people talking about Kaldor, so we're good. So what we're going to talk about, 13th, yes. So talking about lore, Brap, are you ready? Brap. Tomorrow is a battle report. Next Sunday, every other Sunday, I publish a battle report for channel members and for Deployment Zone subscribers. And on YouTube, typically get them every other Sunday. But next Sunday, I'm going to publish one on YouTube. And it is linked to a story time that I've finished writing. And the story time will come out on Christmas. So I'm pulling the release schedule forward. Next video is tomorrow's video, and then the one next Sunday. And the reason why I'm doing this is, Brap, they're a big... I played the 13th and the Word Bearers had a fight on a battle report a couple of months ago where I said I'd write a story time and I didn't. This is part 2 of that fight, and I have written the story time. And that's next week. And there is going to be some lore changes to the 13th as a consequence of that battle report. And you can watch the battle reports and they can stand individually. But for a deeper understanding of how they changed the lore of the 13th, you need to read the story time. And that will be coming out on Christmas Day, my Christmas gift to you. Yeah, so when you're drunk at night on Christmas Day and you want something to fall asleep to, then listen to one of my story times. If you're not familiar, on the playlist on YouTube, there is a story times playlist, and there's stories in there about Chaplain Snow, Chief Librarian Sagan Mir, things like that. And they're my proudest work, because it's just me talking about my lore. Don't forget your list, Wisdom to Winters. Thank you, Feshman, keeping me on track. Headful has answered the word bearers questions, why he's with them. Fanatical legions worshipping a shrine of my dead father Scala, war in my name, quote from June. Oh, he's talking about June. Oh yeah, of course, 40k had some massive directions. Yeah, Headful, 40, I mean, what did 40k borrow? No. How was 40k inspired by June? How was 40k inspired by June? Well, let me paint you a setting and you answer no. How was 40k inspired by June? Well, June was 40k inspired. How to put this? I'm trying to do a nice Navigators of June, Emperor, thank you. I'm trying to put this in like a soundbite. You're getting to watch my brain break down, so I'm trying to let it flow. And this is what it's like when, I mean, Sky was in here earlier on, and I'm sure there's a couple of people in the chat who've been in with me while I'm filming a battle report on this phone. And I'll start saying something, then I'll stop, and then I'll start saying something, and then I'll stop. And some of those cuts actually make it into the edit every now and then, because I'm trying to think of the whole thing, not just the thing. So let's say this. June heavily inspired Warhammer 40k because the June setting is this. Oh, and let me know if this sounds familiar. There is a galactic empire ruled by an emperor where navigators help spaceships through the warp for warp travel. There's an army of space marines, the Zadukar. Yeah. It borrowed a bit from... oh, they'd already had their war against machines, abominable intelligence, and machine intelligence was outlawed in the Dune. So if you watch the Dune movie, that's why the ornithopter that he flies, it's all very click, 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 and you know, there's no computer in there like in a modern fighter jet. Sanguinary Guard, stay on target team. There's a stay on target. Yes. Headful, Dune is the granddaddy of sci-fi. I'm using to lift this. Look, Dune. I literally read it recently again. It's impossible to read past the first book, people. It's a bit like, well, if you like the Silmarillion, you'll like Dune and the Dune sequels, because he writes in prose pretty much towards the end. And in fact, the last bit of the last book is about him and his wife in some orchard. And it's he breaks the fourth wall in his own book, because it's very important. Caldor Pug Radio, thank you for another donation. Why doesn't the question of who are the 2 missing legions in the 30k game get answered? Why doesn't that question get answered? Their standard answer is because that leaves gaps for us to fill in the lore. So that's why it doesn't get answered. It might get answered in the future, but a mystery is always good. Having unresolved mystery. If they answered every single mystery in 40k, it would be a duller place. So I do believe they're expanding the narrative to open up more mysteries, like the Yellow King and the prior books. So they're opening up more mysteries, which allows them to close some of them behind. Yeah, and Stephen Burden hopes that the 2 missing legions remain unknown. Yeah, I think lots of us, including myself, would like at least a bit more about them. But I won't get spoiled or let down in any way if they never let me know. But some people don't want it to be known, so they will feel. So I just stay away from it. Don't answer those questions. 2 legions, Castellan. 2 legions were left as a reason for you to create your own chapter. Yeah. The way to look about it is the Emperor made 20 legions and 3 of them failed. 2 of them didn't even make it to the time of the Heresy, and the third one that failed, that made it to the time of the Heresy, was basically on the edge of being exterminated anyway, and the whole legion was wrapped in the chains of the butcher's nails. I think it was only a matter of time for them, but I also think the Emperor planned the Heresy, and 4 of the legions were going to be taken by the Chaos Gods anyway. But that's a deep one. Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to. So, yes. What was I talking about? Brap? Something about Brap. No, there was definitely a Brap thing I wanted to talk about, and I've forgotten what it is now. List. Yes, I'm back on my list, but I've written Brap here because I wanted to talk to Brap about something, which I thought was pretty good, and now my mind's gone blank. Emperor planned the Heresy, but he didn't expect Horus to lead it. Anyway, so what were we talking about? What did I want to talk? Because I wanted to sit down with you. So talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Thank you to the 148 viewers that are currently here. Smash that like button and consider becoming a tier 3 channel member to unlock all my extra videos and join me in my Discord. I hope you enjoy the battle report that's coming tomorrow and the one that's coming next week, which will change the lore of the 13th. But you won't know how in a direct way until you listen to the story time. So, yes, good. Keep talking amongst yourselves. Brap is a parb backwards. Maybe that was it. Exactly. Brap is parb backwards. Keep talking amongst yourselves because I need to figure out what I was going to say. I was going to say thank you. I was going to talk about the video thing, and then there was something about Brap, and I was going to go, damn it. And it was really clever. And I've forgotten what it is. And it wasn't the 30k thing versus 40k thing. No, it wasn't that. I guess I've talked about enough anyway, because I've talked about Space Marine 2, excited for that. I've talked about other things. Did we actually cover anything today? I mentioned t-shirts. It's completely gone. It'll come back to me while I'm lying in bed tonight. It's like, oh, that's what I wanted to... Hey, basically, I've got this idea to make a live video. And then when it comes to me, now I'm going to have to... See, this is what happens. I send this footage away to Brap. He does live videos from it. And I only use like 1 or 2 of them. Because, yes, you know, they've got to be gripping. And... I have this idea for a live video, and I figured, hey, Brap, cut this for a live video. And then he does it. But now it's gone, and it will come back to me while I'm lying in bed tonight getting pawed by my pussy while it slobbers in my ear. And then I'll be like, damn. And then in the morning, and then I'll forget it when I wake up the next day. And then I'll remember it halfway through Sunday or something. And then, okay, then I'll go upstairs, and then I'll film the live thing. And then I'll send it to him, and then we've got, or I'll edit it myself. Like the one that came out today about the Scorpius tank. I know how to do live ones now. But what I'm saying is it'll be extra work. Because right now, if I remembered it, he'd just cut it. You know, it's a first world problem. But the 100,000 of you out there that subscribe to the channel, which you are crazy, crazy penguins, all of you, and I love you so much. But the 100,000 of you out, that doesn't come without work. It's a first world problem, but every day in the factory and every day out of the factory, we didn't stop working for that. We got there in the end, and the 2021 SN Battle Reports No Retreat Legend of Legends trophy. That didn't come without blood, sweat and tears. I might have put 3 or 4 videos up on YouTube, but honestly I played 20 or 30 back there behind that wall in the other room, mainly with Alex SEO, smashing out as many competitive games as I can, because if you want to get good at Warhammer 40k, here's a truth that some of you don't want to hear, but here's a smackdown, because there's so many videos out there saying do this and listen. This is the truth. If you want to get good at ping pong, if you want to get good at painting, you got to do it a lot. And it took a lot. And we got there. And we climbed this impossible mountain because you out there love the content that I put out, or enjoy it, or at least not irritated by it, or at least have it muttering away in the background while you're painting something from behind. We did this together. Why did I get on this rant to begin with? I forget. Where are we? If you want to get good at ping pong, you've got to put on a show. Exactly, hedonism. And we know what sort of ping pong show you're thinking about, don't we? Mega 9, good day, Winters. Hello, everyone. Everyone say hello to Mega 9. Good day. He's probably from Australia land. You've got to show him your love. He's clinging on to the upside down. And 9 out of 10 things out there want to kill him. Christian Kabang, heart spam in the chat. Thank you, Christian. Does that mean you've just joined as well? I reckon the Lion would lose to Sanguinius. Yeah, I reckon he would too. Imperious Artifact, hello. Nick B, hello. Thank you for saying hello back. Winters is my 40k spirit animal. Our hollow, our home. Am I? Thank you. Christian Capan, no, just a good speech. Oh, Mega 9 is from Canada land. And you said good day. Are you from Canada land but was originally from the prison colony, or are you just like universal? Nick B, Winters, will you be playing Loyalist only in 30k? Nah, I want to play all it. So the desire to collect all the 30k stuff was the Isfan 3 Loyalist push. But obviously I want to play Emperor's Children against Emperor's Children. I mean, for example, in the Emperor's Children range, we've got both of the Praetors in plastic that they produce, and Soltarvitz, and Lucius, and Ancient Rylanor. I mean, I've played with Lucius against some. I've play tested, and that was a really good fight because Lucius, most of your warlords give out buffs to your army, but Lucius doesn't give anything unless he's in a challenge with someone. Imagine this: you've got a warlord, 40k, 30k. Imagine any game system. You pick this guy, and you get no bonuses whatsoever. What's the point in taking him? Well, one, because he's a beast. And two, if he actually gets in a challenge with another character, the unit he's with becomes fearless. Because if you are a Space Marine, a martial warrior that has spent, and you see one of the greatest swordsmen in the galaxy go toe to toe with someone else, you're not going anywhere. You're not taking morale. You'll probably stop him. Hang on. Let's have a look at that shit. So that's a great law. Caldor Pugrego. Heresy has been spoken about the Lion commencing purging. No, come on. There's very few people that could beat Sanguinius in a 1-to-1 because he's got the rage. He can let it out, man. Where are we? Lucius cringe, Rylanor not cringe. Lucius is a great bad guy. Lucius is a great bad guy. Like Erebus is a pretty great bad guy as well. Erebus has got really good motivation for doing what he does, and he's evil. He enjoys being bad and hurting people and pain and tricking them. It's great. There's nothing to like about. It's like that Joffrey in Game of Thrones. You know, there's nothing likable about the guy, which makes him a really compelling character. Makes him very interesting to follow. And also, you don't really know what he's going to do next. I can't really think of anything more that I'd want from my bad guys. The prairies are a wonderful place, especially in winter cold, Mega 9. Okay. You just live in a part of Canada people forget exists. Even other Canadians forget my province exists. So you're like proper north, Mega 9, up there in Canadian land. Well, by the time of the 41st millennium, it's going to be prime real estate. All the cold will be gone. You'll be living the life. I'm sure on some mega high city up there is a rich lord. Lion could counter Sanguinius' foresight like he did against Conrad, but Sanguinius could use both his rage and his foresight together in the fight. Yeah, so, okay, here's the thing. So let's go Primarchs and Primarchs. Yeah. Sanguinius has foresight and he's got the rage. What has Lion got? I mean, they've all got something. The Lion, the Lion's thing is, because they've all got superpowers, Corax can choose not to be seen. Kurz knows the manner on which of his death. Alfarius can appear as anyone he wants. The Lion is good at everything. That's his superpower. He was good at, but not good at people. He's good at everything, but not good at people because everyone has a downside. So he's one of the few Primarchs that actually asks other people in his legion for their opinion and actually listens to them or says something to someone, then turns around to Luther and says, is he lying and not knowing? Or did that come across as X and Y and not knowing how it came across and actually asking them? Because he's not good with people. But he's good at everything else. He's good at fighting. He's good at logistics. He's good at total planetary war. He's good at specialized warfare. I mean, Ravenwing, Stormwing, Ironwing, Dreadwing, Firewing. They were the template on which the other legions were built around. He's excellent. He's a genius in combat. He has a conversation with Guilliman during Imperium Secundus where Guilliman turns around to the Lion and says, it's really hard to trust you because he has a conversation with him about tactics and warfare and stuff. And remember, this is at Einsteinian levels of genius when it comes to tactical warfare. And they have a discussion with each other. And Guilliman says this, and Guilliman's been studying all of his life in the Codex Astartes, and he's Sun Tzu, the art of war. He is codifying warfare. And he's been studying it like Einstein, like Newton, like someone like that, like Marie Curie forever. And he's got this, and he has a conversation with the Lion about it. And the Lion says, yes, I know. And this, and you could do this. And Guilliman's like aghast, like, how can he? And he's like, it's hard to trust you, brother, because these things come to you so easy. Whereas some of us had to study very hard for what we do. And let's not forget that the Lion did beat Russ, but I don't count that as a win for the Lion because the Lion sucker punched him. They were Russ and the Lion were well matched all the way through. And Russ can beat everyone. I mean, Russ can beat Magnus. Russ is a supernova. If Russ is coming for you, he is death and the end of all things. If that's what the Space Wolves are, they're death of everything. And just like the Emperor has, in many cases, is 2 of most tools, just like the Death Guard are. Anyway, where are we? Do I think I'll ever get Space Gaven? No. Right, so yes, I couldn't think of the Brap thing, so we're going to move on. We do the hobby thing, then we get to 30k. So hobby update. What was I talking about? I wanted to show you something. Oh yes, first up. I've been rearranging my shelves a bit so that in the battle reports I've got some of the bigger models, so that the knights and the flashy stuff, and taking a lot of crap off the shelves. Not crap, but I've just thrown armies up there. Down here there's a lot more armies I've just thrown up there. So I've been taking a lot of them down and putting them in these things and sticking them under the table, and this one dropped. And those are my custodies. It's a sad sight. I need to repair them. That's a hobby update. Been smashing out the Emperor's Children. I'm painting up to about 25-foot guys. I'm looking forward to the bases. Marchofwar.co.uk are making me exclusive ruin bases for my Horus Heresy Emperor's Children army. And yeah, so when they're available, and the idea with the Horus Heresy bases he's making me is because he also does rubble bases and like ruin church bases, and I like them both, and I like a mixture, and I like something. So the idea of the Horus Heresy bases he's designing, he already did. He already designed them, and he already made them, and I went, yeah, but no, but. I went, they're a nice design and all, but they're a bit too busy for me. Like, that's a bit of the one with the other thing on. That's a bit of, and I was like, you should have contacted me beforehand. Because though I love your work, brother, don't really want them. Is that ungrateful? It's not ungrateful. It's truthful. It's honest. I want to say that I want to do it right. And they're a bit too busy. And he doesn't just make bases for anyone. But I also wanted some way you could blend the bases from his new Ruins collection with some of his other bases as well. So I could get like the Ruins 2 bases or the Ruins of Betrayal bases or whatever he's calling them. Hey, look, we've been invaded by Slaanesh bots. Nice, and someone smashed it. Good, good. Well done, Sanguinary Guard. Purge the Slaanesh box. Yeah, so we could do a giveaway when they come out. Whoever said that. So he's designing me some Marchofwar.co.uk designing me some bases, and the idea is that when I get them, I can use some of one of his other kits and some of one of his other kits, and then I've got this nice blur of really unique bases all the way across the Emperor's Children army. So I've been smashing out the Emperor's Children and doing the Necron project all year. Master of Silly Walks, will you have any interest in the old world when it comes out? Yes, I will have interest in it. We'll see what rule system it's based around. We'll see how they do it. Suffer the unclean not to live, brothers, said Sanguinary Guard after vanquishing those bots. Well done. Well done. It's team effort, you see? See what happens when we work together? Anyway, one of my projects at the beginning of the year was the Necrons. I started the Hobby Apocalypse Year 2. Hobby Apocalypse Year 3 is about to start on January the 1st in deploymentzone.tv. And I started the Necron project with Season 2 Hobby Apocalypse. And the idea is to paint 1,500 in 6 months of Necrons. I got another one of these because I think I said on a thing recently about having the Tesseract Vault and a monolith and a monolith. And then I'll finish out my Necron collection 2022. Mega 9. So you broke something, cool, things good, purged good, yes. So just checking, everyone's okay. So yes, and then when I've done the monolith, then I'm gonna need it. So the plan is, yes, I was talking about hobby projects. I should stop like this. Stop distracting me. Still need to fix my light lancer. See, so you're having a whole conversation, and I'm glad you're having a lovely conversation in there. But what happens is I'm having a conversation, and then you have a conversation, and we can't have two conversations. But I want 3 or 4 conversations. So what I need to, it's a me problem, not a you problem. It's a me problem, not a you problem. I need to focus on what I'm doing. You need to focus on what you're doing. And then every now and then we need to chat. We need to breach the divide. And sometimes I leap in too early. Sometimes you're not ready for me. Okay? Sometimes you're rolling around in the hay with Mega 9 and the High Lord of Terror. So, yes, you're not ready. Just got here, thought the title said Heresy versus 40k. Yes, Shield Captain Rochambeau. We're doing that. Let's jump into that. So, finishing off my hobby section for the year, get this done, and then I want to have a video up for the 31st of December, which is all the Necrons I did. Here's my 2022 project. And then point them all up and figure out how many points of Necrons. Because basically in 2021, I didn't own Necrons. In 2022, I've painted and assembled my whole Necron thing. And I want to point it all up and get that video out and show you guys. And I'm just curious. I wonder if I got up to 10,000 points. I don't know. I think it's going to be about 6,000, 7,000. Probably. Should be a good video. And they're all based on lovely ruin bases by marchofwar.co.uk. So, 30k plus 40k. Heresy, 40k. I've watched your DZ TV Necron battles and they are beautiful, but you need more of the ones with the claws and flayed skin. I've got 45 of them built next door and painted. 45. Flayed ones at AP -1. Armour of Contempt. Yes, they're only 10 points a model now, but I had such great plans. I find Heresy has better competitive consistency rather than 40k. So at this point, I'd like to get on to the main topic, which is, yikes, I thought 20 was bad, but 45. Oh, they are my flayed ones. Yeah, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. So now, yeah, let's get on to the topic. So whoever put the hand up with the thing, if the Gitman is still here or who... This is where you need to timestamp where I started talking about 30k and Heresy and 40k. So fiddly though, yeah. The flay ones are really fiddly. And so, yes, let's do this. You can see my brain is beginning to fry. Played a game of... I'm not going to look at you for a while. You can talk amongst yourselves. But Heresy versus 40k, which is better? I played a game of Warhammer for 30k last night with my friend Alex SEO. And in turn 1, he had a squadron of Land Raiders and I had a Spartan. And in turn 1, he shot at the Spartan, didn't really hurt it. And in turn 2, or my turn 1, sorry, I shot at his Land Raider squadron and they both blew up with one attack from the Spartan, or the attacks from the Spartan. And the explosion from both of the Land Raiders obviously hurt a bunch of the dudes inside, but also immobilized the head rhino in a rhino chain that was swinging around the back of his Land Raiders. So what you had in one great swing of the game was he had 2 full land raiders there full of boys, and then those 2 land raiders were gone after 1 shooting attack and not so many boys, and a rhino behind immobilized, and the other rhinos behind the rhino that was immobilized now couldn't swing around the back and perform this delicate and beautiful flanking maneuver that he had set up. Because rhinos can go, yes. And that happened in 1 shooting attack. And then later in the game, he did blow up my Spartan with some armor bane melter shot point blank range. And when the armor bane blew up, right in front of the Spartan was a dreadnought about to charge the contents. And in the contents were a bunch of guys with melter guns. And so that was a dead dreadnought. But they got pinned in the explosion. So that 300 point unit of guys couldn't do anything when they got charged by the dreadnought and died. Now, in Warhammer 40k, you can't shoot at one thing and blow up 2 things and immobilize a 3rd thing. If you get some really good shots in Warhammer 40k, you might kill a thing and it might blow up. And it potentially could blow up the next thing. It can happen. But you don't get pinned units afterwards. You don't have... It occurred to me that 30k has more random moments, RNG moments in it than 40k. 40k is flattened out the curve, that extreme curve, the bits at the edges of the U curve, has snipped them off. And 10 years ago they started doing it actually by saying, or whenever it was, that you could only bring 3 of anything. I think that was the start of 8th edition. Because in 30k it doesn't matter if you want to bring an army full of dreadnoughts and an army full of custodies on foot, and both of these armies are completely extreme, and both of these armies aren't going to be much fun to play, and both of them are pretty abusive. You can get some pretty abusive 30k armies. There's some really wacky balance things at the far edges. Well, in 40k, they've trimmed that down. So now 3 of anything and then 2 of any flyers. They've trimmed down the ability to spam certain units, trim the edges down of the extreme things. They've stopped units getting pinned. They've stopped vehicles getting easily blown up by a 1-shot kill in some cases, or 2-shot kills with melters. 40k has developed into a game system where a loud minority of people talk about it on the internet in competitive terms as well, and in terms of winning. And 40k has evolved into a rule system where, in part because of the loudness, people shout about fairness, unfairness, balance, competitive, what's winning this league, what's top of that league, which armies, because that the Games Workshop has been listening to the community since the growth of the internet, and since this has been going on and on and on and on. And Games Workshop has moved 8th edition from the 7th ed rule set, which was Horus Heresy, to a flatter rule set where those extreme things are less likely to happen. And it's creeped as it always does, but the 40k rule set now is the most competitive rule set of 40k that we've had, with secondaries, with actions, with the Nephilim Grand Tournament Pack. Warhammer 40k 9th edition is the Warhammer Tournament edition. And competitive play likes to flatten out those edges. Just as online, just as on Call of Duty or Counter-Strike or whatever, they'll flatten out the RNG moments as much as possible. and those are random number generated moments. Those, if I'm playing Battle Royale with you and I land on this really good section and I pick up these items of equipment and I run into your team, then you're dead. And it's not a skill difference. It's because I got lucky. And tournament play and competitive play wants to remove the luck factor as much as possible, or flatten out the extremes of the luck curve as much as possible, so that more of the tournament can be so it comes down to more skill. It comes down to skill as much as possible. And there are some really good plays, there's some really good psychology behind playing tournament play well. So if I was going to play tournament play well, if I was going to coach you out there to be the best tournament player you could, the best person at the game, then what we would do when you were playing against me and other people and I was coaching you to win this $1 million is I'd put you up against the best players you could, and you would talk to them as much as possible, so you can learn as much as possible about the system as quickly as possible. Let's assume that in order to be as good at the game as you possibly can, you need to know as much about the game as you possibly can. Every single stratagem, relic, warlord trait, every single twist. If you and your opponent are both 100% knowledgeable about the game of Warhammer 40k 9th edition, then it just comes down to sheer skill. How do you use those tools? How do you use those rules? How do you use the system to help you, to leverage you into a competitive advantage over your opponent? And if I was coaching you, I'd be telling you everything you could and asking you about everything you're doing. And when I was practicing for the No Retreat Legend of Legends 2021 prize, that's what I was doing with the SEOs. I was trying to help my opponent be the best possible opponent they could be, and play their army with as much knowledge as they could, and tell them everything about my army as much as I possibly could, because I assumed that the person that I would run into at the No Retreat Legend of Legends 2021 championship would know at least as much as us between ourselves. And and that's a glorious way of playing match play. That's a glorious way of playing tournament play, because you want your opponent to win as much as you want to win. You really want to test your skill at the game, not at gotchas, not at I know more than you, not by gotchaing your opponent. And the extremes in the 40k rule set have been flattened out, so they are much less likely to happen and less devastating when they do so. Kaldor Pugrego. So what you're saying is we need more Eldari models and rules to make the game good. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is in 30k, those extremes are still there and there's more of them. There's a couple of different ways of playing a video game, a battle report, a war game, a game of soccer or American football. In the park, Adam Goffrey, thank you for your 5 memberships. If anyone gets a membership from Alan Godfrey, make sure you thank him. Thank him so much. There's different ways of approaching playing a game. And one of those ways of approaching playing a game is to win. And I've certainly played many games in my time, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, and when I was a man, when I'm trying to win. Put me in the back garden with a football with my 10 and 8-year-old nephew, and I will try and win that game of football. I will try and crush them. I will try and destroy them. I will try and make their little faces like, no, Uncle Winters, why dost you destroy us so much at football? We are but small children. And I'll say, that's because you're small children. Grow up. What do you think this is out there? Haven't you got a job yet? You know, can't you climb up a chimney or something? Come on now, contribute. You're basically parasites living off my stepbrother and stepwife. I don't know how these words work. Who knows about families these days? But you're basically scrounging off them, okay? There are kids out there in other countries that have glued their hands together already, making the trainers that you're wearing. Be grateful. Come on now. So make them cry. There's games out there that I want to win. No worries, Winters. Hopefully people can enjoy your brilliant. There's games out there that we all want to win. And when I played 40k back at the beginning, when I was much younger, so much younger than today, and I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now those days are gone. I'm not so self-assured. That's the Beatles, by the way. For anyone who didn't know, that was the Beatles. Back in the day when I first started playing 40k, or whenever you start learning a new game, you want to be good. You want to win. I'm playing 40k and I want to be better at 40k. I'm playing ping pong. I want to get better at ping pong. You want to win. It becomes an essential part. But when you've won as much as I have, when indeed you've become the no retreat Legend of Legends 2021 Championship. I try not to mention it too often. I think I might have overdone it in this stream so far. But when you reach these heights, smashing the titans along the way, then you realize what is winning after all. Caldor Pagrego gifted 10 memberships, laying it down on the line. Caldor Pagrego, you're a boss this evening. Thank you for your love and your support. Everyone give Caldor Pagrego a big thank you, hands up, heart, things like that if you manage to get a membership after Mr. Pagrego there. Thank you for your Christmas gifts. And guys, if you love someone and you really want to give them a gift for Christmas this year, then buy them a Winter's SEO merchandise t-shirt thing, because they just simply look better. Yeah, so there are games that you play that you want to win, and there's loads of different reasons why you want to win, and there's some people out there who are just competitive AF, and there's some people out there that like breaking things, but let's put them in a small minority for now. Breaking game systems, breaking hearts, breaking lives, breaking people, breaking justice. Where is she? And then there's another completely different way of playing games, and that's playing for fun. And you could run around the back garden with your nephews, playing football with them for fun and not making them cry. You could do that if you want to. Or you could play fun with your kids at home, a game of Scrabble, Monopoly, or you could play fun with 40k, and you like the moments when the Land Raider blew up. When my Spartan shot the Land Raider across the table, and Alex SEO's both Land Raiders blew up and his guys inside were nuked, and the Rhino behind was pinned, and it had to change his whole game plan up this end of the table, and his Storm Eagle came in turn 2, loaded up with 11 Terminators in there, 10 Phoenix Terminators. I remember what it is for BRAP! With all the Phoenix Terminators in. Deep Strike. And that blew up as well. His Fire Eagle came in, that blew up, and when that blows up, it does a Strength 10 AB2 explosion, and he actually managed to save 5 of his Terminators with invulnerable save, so good on him in that. And he only had 5 left with the HQ, still 400 points there. That's blown up. These things are blown up. Death, destruction across the land. He was laughing his ass off, because it was fun, because this sort of mechanic doesn't happen in 40k anymore. It's like, oh my Emperor, what do I do now? That's blown up there. And it came down to the last dice roll of the game of Sol Tarvitz himself holding on. If he had made his last couple of Iron Halo saves, he would have denied the objective that I was on here, and the game would have been a draw, and the only person left alive on that objective would have been Sol Tarvitz. The first loyalist and one of the last survivors at the Isfahan 3 drop site massacre. What a legend. And you don't get that in 40k. Those explosions, or my troop being pinned, or a unit falling back, or a unit getting sweeping advanced and overrun, or a unit getting blinded. I was allied with Admech, and I'd shot a photon thruster at his initiative 5 unit behind the Palatine Blade squads, and he rolled a 6, so they were blinded. They were weapon skill initiative 1. It was just You don't get that in 40k. 40k, you can't bring 9 dreadnoughts in a viable list in 40k. You can in 30k. You can't bring an army all of jet bikes and they're all troops. You can in 30k. You can't bring something completely broken on the custody side of things in 40k, but you can in 30k. It's inherently unbalanced at the top edges more than the 40k system. It goes like this. Warhammer 30k is on a U-curve with the extremes at the end, and the U-curves are pulled out a bit more. And this is what you've got to ask yourself. This is what you have to ask yourself if you're considering which game system is better for you as a person. Do you like the kind of games where there's extremes at either end, extremes that are really good for you and extremes that are really bad for you and could lose you the games? Do you like that and laugh and have fun playing that type of game with your opponent, when you know something absolutely horrible is going to happen to him, but something equally horrible is probably going to happen to you completely randomly and you can't control it? And if that makes you laugh, seeing those explosions, seeing those kind of extremes happen on the tabletop because you just want to have fun with your opponent and you live for the thing getting on in your hand, then you want 30k. You want Heresy. If you want a game system which flattens out and cuts away the tips of the U curve there, then you want 40k because much less of those things happen. Here's an anecdotal example to you. When I played at the No Retreat 2021 Legend of Legends Championships, which I won, I played against a player who must remain nameless, but they're all named, all the people who went to the Legend of Legends tournaments. I haven't said this on air before, but I'm gonna say it now, which I won, Skip Ruth. Thank you very much. Yes, I did, with the death win. I rarely talk about it, but when I was at that tournament, something happened in a game. I can't even tell you what their army was because you'll go, it was him! But something happened in a game where a vehicle blew up and the explosion of the vehicle killed quite a number of the models around that exploding vehicle. And essentially that one thing changed the outcome of the game. It didn't... That one thing was a straw which was enough to change that outcome for a game. And the person I'm playing against said, I wish that didn't happen in this particular game. It shouldn't happen in a tournament edition like this. He didn't say it shouldn't happen in a tournament edition like this, but like, I forget what they said, so I'm not going to put anyone on the spot other than to say that we had a conversation where they were unhappy that such an extreme thing could happen and affect the outcome of a game, because it reduced the skill element of the game. And he's absolutely right. If that's important to you, and if you're coming at that mindset of you want to win, you want as many as the RNG numbers to RNG moments, the random moments, to be reduced as much as possible. He's right. And I've certainly felt that way a lot. About games that I've played growing up and as a man, but I don't feel that way about 40k. And when he was having this conversation with me, I was smiling and agreeing, because I remember having one of those mentally dissonant moments. There's a psychological word for it, where I really didn't know what we were talking about, and then it kind of slipped, like, oh, this is what we're talking about, halfway through the conversation. Because I thought it was awesome. And I thought it would be awesome if it happened to me. Just as Alex thought it was awesome last night when his double Land Raiders blew up. And just as I thought it was awesome that when my Spartan blew up, the one chance that I had to kill his Dreadnought charging towards me, 10 Melter dudes got pinned. And therefore got ruined. I thought that was awesome. I think it's awesome when plasma guns blow up. I think it's awesome when planes crash and burn. I think it's awesome when you roll that 1 and something terrible happens, or you roll that 6 and something glorious happens. I think it's awesome. And that's why I play 40k, for those fun moments. Yeah. So there's there's probably 5 ways of approaching playing a game, but I see 2 main ways in the 40k verse. I see people who want to get better and want to win, either because they're new at the game, like when I was new at the game, I wanted to get better and I wanted to win, or because they're competitively minded. And there are people out there who are very competitively minded, and I know quite a few of them, and winning is an important part of their enjoyment in the game, and they play against someone else who also really likes winning then. But you can play for fun. You can't win every single game of Warhammer 40k you play, but you can try and have fun every single game of Warhammer 40k you play. And the random moments make a game more fun. And Horus Heresy has a lot more random moments in the game. And if you think that's fun and you want more of those random moments, then play Heresy. And if you want less of those random moments, that's where 40k is right now. Now me, I prefer Heresy. I think Heresy is better. And I think Warhammer 40k is missing something right now, which are those random moments, those explosions, those RNG moments that can happen more and are more devastating, which by reverse are also more beneficial to another player, be it you or your opponent. 40k used to have those moments, those deep strike mishaps where you lost entire units. They used to have, and I don't want that back, that was too extreme, but they used to have those moments when vehicles blew up and then half of the unit inside died with it. They used to have those moments where you failed that charge and just got stuck there, or you got charged and then the rest of your army got snowballed. 40k used to have those moments, and it had them from 1st edition through to 7th edition. It had them through everything but 5 years of its life cycle, 6 years of its life cycle, and they're gone now, and it's missing something because of it. But they put them and kept them in Warhammer 30k. Now, I think the reason why they went that way is because they have been listening to the Warhammer 40k community for the last 10 years, since the birth of smartphones and the growth of YouTube and things like that. I think they're plugged in. The games designers and the writers and the artists, every single one at Games Workshop that I've met, are a part of this community as well. Many of them, maybe not all of them, but enough of them are plugged in to the online community as well. To comment, to agree, to talk, to chat, and some of you probably know them. If you're connected to wider chat groups, I certainly know of a couple that are in the deployment zone. Yeah, and the loud voices have tried to balance the edition as much as possible, and Games Workshop have tried to balance the edition as much as possible and tried to make the edition more and more and more tournament friendly. And they've gone far too far because the game balance at the moment clearly shows that they've gone far too far, and I'm looking forward to the 10th edition reset. So here's the question: when they get to 10th edition, what should it be? I think there should be 2 rule sets out there, and one of them has as many random moments in as that game system can fit, and one of them has as little as possible so it appeals to both types of players. And I think the difference should be in the missions. I think the same game system can apply. I think you can have one rule system and then 2 different mission sets and come about by the same, you can achieve the same end. But yeah, I think 30k rule set is better because I like those exploding things. And I think the 40k rule set has flattened out as much of the random stuff as they can on purpose. because 9th edition is the tournament edition. And I think 40k has lost something because of it. Here's the other thing as well. When, in 7th edition and previous, when that was the only edition and we did have all the random moments that could completely change the course of a battle, there were still tournament players. Tournament players and competitive players will play whatever edition is available. I guess the problem is those abusive players, those very small number of abusive players who will abuse a system, will also play with whatever system is available. And competitive players and tournament players need to beat people who abuse the system as well. And they often fall to the lure of chaos, the whispers of the chaos gods, and ally that with that and a little bit of eye of toad and leg of frog. And once you turn down the dark path, forever it dominates your destiny. Tournament players will always play whatever is the strongest, even if the game is balanced pretty well. Yes, of course. So, yeah, Heresy plus 40k. What game system is better for you? If you like game systems where there's more random events that can happen, where the rules are, there are some very extremes at the most broken ends of Heresy, which are pretty broken. And there will be some abusive players who take advantage of that, because there's always abusive players. But if you prefer a game system that's that way, or if you don't mind losing 9 out of 10 of your games so long as you're having fun every single time, then Horus Heresy is for you. If you are competitive minded, match play minded, tournament minded, then go to 40k. Or you can do what I do, which is both. I mean, I love and prefer the 30k rule set, not because it's the 30k rule set, but because of those things that come out of the rule set, because of those more RNG moments in it. I prefer it because of that. But I still love 40k because I love 40k, and I've been playing all the time. I've been playing all the editions since 4th mainly. Been playing constantly since 4th. And I love 40k, and I love the lore, and I love my armies, and if this is the rule set that we've got, this is the rule set that we've got. And I've played 5 other rule sets, well, 9 in total, but really played 5 other rule sets, and whatever it takes to put my little guys on the table is what I'll do, and meet other people and play against Harlequins and sisters and whatever, and expand the story. I'll play it because plastic crack, right? Okay, so I think I've hit what I wanted to do. Brap, I remember what I was gonna say to Brap. So I'll dump into the chat, and then we'll do the Brap thing, and then we'll wrap this up, because there's over 100 in you here, and there's some sporting thing going on today or something. I heard people shouting outside yesterday or whenever it was. I don't know. Volleyball, Olympics, something. Where are we? Altheon, which is your favourite edition winters? 8th. There was a glorious moment in 8th edition before 3 months when everyone had a codex and Psychic Awakening had not been released. 8th edition, everyone had a codex. 3 months until Psychic Awakening after the last codex came out. 1 rulebook to rule them all. 1 codex each. And the competitive standings from the best performing factions to the lowest performing factions was within a band of it was 68% to 42. It was much narrower than it was now, because there's so few. There was 75% less rules than there is now, so it's much easier to balance. The more and more variability that you add to a rule system, the more and more you unbalance it. Like all these spinning tops, put another spinning top on, another spinning, and all these spinning tops spin on a bunch of spinning tops, which spin on a bunch of spin, and it, It was simple, it was good. Everyone had a codex. It had old school Maelstrom of War. It was fairly balanced. It was just so accessible. So many people were coming into the hobby back then. Tempest of War is fun, and yes, it is. Tempest of War is fun. Skipperoo. It's my favourite way to play right now. Freshmon, that's why I'm awake at 4 a.m. I'm sorry, I need to wrap this up. Peter Daly, do you think it would be a good idea to expand Titanicus back up to the Epic system Apocalypse at a more reasonable scale? There's leaks that Epic is coming. Do I think Epic is a good idea? I do think Epic is a good idea, but I think the Titanicus system needs simplifying a little bit as well. It is a great rule system, but it can be simple. If they simplified it a little bit, more people would get into the game. And I know Titanicus people would scream, like, oh, they've simplified it a bit. But imagine if the player base doubled. Isn't that better for Titanicus players? Killer Kriegsman, member, tier 3 member for 3 months. Keep the game rolling along. Thank you for your continued membership, Killer Kriegsman. I appreciate you. Right, okay. So, Brapscallion. If you made it this far, for those who have joined late, what I do is I take this video at the end, I download it, send it to Brap, he chops a bit out. I've got an idea for a live video, so this is it, and we're gonna do 2 takes, okay? I might even ask a poll, no, I won't ask a poll, but you'll see it, and then you'll see which one Brap picks, huh? Hi, I'm Winters SEO, and no, Brap, by the way. I would like this, okay? And then you pick which one. Hi, I'm Winters SEO, and if you work for Games Workshop, cut that. Hi, I'm Winters SEO. If you work for Games Workshop or know anyone who works for Games Workshop, please send this video to them or get them to link it somehow. Games Workshop, I have to ask you a question. Why can't Terminators Deep Strike in the Horus Heresy rules? Please comment below or let us know in one of the Warhammer community articles. We might not agree with you, but just let us know, because then at least we'll be able to understand you. Terminator should beat Deep Strike. I want to know what your thoughts are and why you think they shouldn't. Please let us know. So that's one of the cuts. Brap, this is probably cut 2. Hello out there. Could you like, thumb up, and viral this video as much as possible so that someone from Games Workshop can see it and answer our question, our Horus Heresy question. Why can't Terminators Deep Strike? I mean, yeah, sure, the Night Lord Terminators that can come Deep Striking in, but why can't my Cataphractii Terminators Deep Strike? They can't run. They don't, they can't make any movement reaction. So if I start here and it's like the Onslaught one, and then I get 4 turns just to slog across. Why can't they Deep Strike? Let us know why. We might not agree with you, we might not like it, but put it in a community article somewhere, or answer me or email me at Warhammer, no, not Warhammer, winters40k@gmail.com. Why can't Terminators Deep Strike? Yeah, that one sounded a bit whiny, the first one. It did, didn't it? It did sound a bit whiny. I'm out of water, so I need to wrap it up. So let's go with the first one. Hi, I'm making this video on the desperate hope that someone from Games Workshop who can actually answer this question sees this video and actually answers this question. Why can't Terminators Deep Strike in Horus Heresy? My Cataphractii Terminators, in the Spartan, no deep striking in. Night Lords can deep strike in. Tell us why they can't deep strike, so at least we understand why you made that as a design choice. But I see it in my comment section. People are asking questions. What is the thinking behind it? We need to know. Thank you. I don't know which one's better. I sometimes do this when I'm making the cut videos with you guys. So you actually saw some proper stuff in action there, cut videos. You got to take a couple of takes. I'm my largest critic. I'm my own and even now I'm thinking to myself, I didn't like any of them. But maybe cut and stuck in as a 3. Maybe this instead. Why can't Horus Heresy terminate as Deep Strike Games Workshop? Why? Please let us know in a Warhammer community article. Why? Please let us know your thinking, because I can't think your thinking. I need to know we need to know. Please, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope. I don't know. Anyway, why can't terminate as Deep Strike? Inquiring heretics want to know. Because they couldn't deep strike to the other side. That one was good. Yeah. Even better, why can't my Custodes all deep strike teleport in HH? You have to do a thing, don't you? There's from Golden Light they come. I think your Terminators can, but it's either Valdor or one of the. You can pick 2 of your units they can deep strike, but the Flyers can. The Palace Grav tanks and the Caladius Grav tanks can deep strike. So it's at least you've got a mechanism that allows you to unlock that for 2 units in the Loyalist book. Second one was much better, says Hedonism. Over to you, Brap. We'll see which one makes the live cut. Right, so thank you. We're losing viewers. I've been going on for a long time. It's nearly 5. I think I started this at 3, so this is like one of the longest live streams I've done. Sorry, Brap. You have to dig your way through to the very end. But thank you to anyone out there who stayed from the beginning to end. Special thank you to anyone who gave a donation or thumbed up or liked or subscribed to the stream or became a tier 3 channel member. And thank you to everyone who actually gave channel memberships out as well. I just noticed Quipster Nerd has been in the chat all along. We need to make some stuff together. Yes, we do, Quipster Nerd. Yes, we do. We need to make some stuff together. I've been smashing my Emperor's Children, dude. I'm on it. So yeah, thank you to everyone who joined in late, early, or people who will watch this as a vlog or whatever you call it. Just tuned in, Truck Station 5, that is. Oh no. So which one is better? 30k. You have to go back and... Well, it depends on your point of view. It depends what you want from a game. Do you want a game to be fun or do you want to win? And then it's 30k or 40k. Old Goblin. Cheers, Winters. Fiver. Cheers to you too, mate. Yes, Truck Station 5. We're leaving. Okay, it's been 2 hours. You just tuned in. You're late. You're late to the party, bro. I stayed from 5 minutes ago. That's when I opened the tab. Said, oh, sorry about that. So someone's only been here for 5 minutes. Killer Kriegsman, I didn't hear you say cheers for the 3-month sub yet. Did I miss something? I'm terribly sorry. I think I did. I'm sure I did. Keep the game rolling along. I'm pretty certain I did, okay? I'm pretty certain I did. I'm pretty certain I did. I did. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Thanks for 3 months sub. Truck Station, no Xenos in Horus Heresy and less variety. Yeah, that's the point. It's narrative. It's supposed to be a narrative game system. I hope when it expands in the future and they stop doing Firstborn Marines in 40k, which they will eventually, I hope it becomes Warhammer 40k, Warhammer Horus Heresy might become Warhammer Narrative. And if Warhammer Narrative becomes Warhammer Narrative, then it becomes Horus Heresy and Fall of Cadia and First Tyrannic War and War of the Beast. It becomes, and you can put all of the old kits in there. And then 40k becomes 40k. And it opens out and it allows you to do whatever you want to do. Where are we? Thanks, Winters. Keep it up. Thank you. He did say it. Yes, I did see Fred. I said it. I said it, Killer Kriegsman. I said it. Peter Taylor, want to do the real first Battle of Armageddon with the boys. That sounds like a great thing. Killer Kriegsman, sorry, mate. I might have been out of the room. Get yourself a Winters SEO t-shirt for Christmas. And then that will make me feel better. Double shout out, Freshman. Evening, folks. I do miss 7th, which Horus Heresy is built somewhat off. Yes, it is. Hedonism, thanks, Winters. Your battle has got me back into playing the game. So thank you, everyone, for coming along. I really appreciate you being here. Happy Christmas. I'm I might be on before Christmas, but next week I'm going on holiday. That's another reason why this is coming out on Saturday. I'm flying out on Monday like stupid o'clock and coming back in late on Sunday. So I'm going to Poland with my wife. Normally we go out over the Christmas period, but we're going out like a couple of weeks early because it saves £1,000. The difference in flights and like parking at the airport and car hire to get to Poland and back and stay out there with the relatives. It's £1,000 more if we went like a couple of days after the date when we're getting back. So we're going out there a week early to see the nephews and see the fam and paint lots of Emperor's Children, lots of them. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this today. And so I might not be on before Christmas because I come back and then I'll have some catching up to do, and then I'll play a bit of Warzone, and then I might hate my life for a bit. And I've only just recovered from a bit of a cold as well. Woe is me. First world problems coming out the heirloom here, all over my heirloom, all over the floor. So yes, so that's happening, but I do hope to drop on beforehand. Anyway, in the meantime, 13th video out next week. So that'll be the 10th, 11th, 20th, no, 18th, something like that, which will change the law. And then the law time is coming out the week after. Story time is coming out the week after that. So please check out the story time. And if you haven't checked out my story time videos, they're in the story time playlist, which is on YouTube. Happy Christmas. If I don't see you, says Killer Kriegsman's. Happy Christmas, one and all. Happy wargaming. Winters is going. Is that the button?